beautiful thing about the 99 Designs business model is there's actually a self-generating business model that came out of our sort of mothership that we call SitePoint.com. So our co-founders, Matt Mitrovic and Mark Harbottle, created a business called SitePoint back in 1999. So there's a long gestation to this story. One of the forums that was on there was a designer forum. Designers were playing a game called Photoshop Tennis where they would design for fun amongst themselves. So someone would create a fictional brief, they would submit designs to it, and at the end they'd basically go vote on it and say, hey, well done John, great design. One of them was a website designer, he needed a logo. He reached out to the community and said, hey, I need a logo for a client, I've got to get the website done. How about you guys have a crack at the website, and if someone produces something I like, I'll give you a couple $100. And so it was designer, and they thought it was awesome. They were like, yeah, hell yeah, this is great. They submitted, he picked a winner and paid them, and that's essentially how the business model was formed. So this naturally occurring behavior, designer to designer, was the initial iterations. Then the web developer community jumped in, and they started getting websites, designs, and logos for their small businesses that they were creating. And then Matt and Mark and some of the guys, Llewellyn, that you'll meet a bit later, were like, look at this activity, it was causing some traffic issues, some load issues on the site. There was a lot of activity going on, and I'm like, well, how about we try and clean this up by charging $10 for people to post to this forum thread. So they did that, charged $10, people kept submitting. They took the price to 20, people continued to submit. And all this time they're getting feedback from the designers and the customers. Customers are saying, I need some help creating a brief. I don't really know what to put there. When it started to spread from not just being designer to designer, we started to see those issues. The designers were like, I need somewhere to load my work and somewhere so that the customer can comment on that work. We need a payment gateway. There was all of these sorts of things that were coming up. And so essentially like a classic minimum viable product, listening to two sides of the community and going, well, okay, what do we need to build to make this viable? And now that we're charging $20, we actually can see that this could create a revenue stream and potentially be a viable business. So all of this activity was happening from sort of 2006 through to 2008. And then 99 Designs was spun out in February 2008. So we're just 4 years old as 99 Designs. But when we spun out, we were two guys, two techs, with a benevolent parent. So SitePoint, we got a corner office, and that's essentially how it started. And so some customers, some designers, and we're bootstrapped all the way up until last year. And the fact is, getting good design's always been tough, right? Typically, small business owners didn't even know where to go to find good design, right? It was like, how do I get it? You'd get your kid to do it if or you may be playing clip art, or you might have a friend who was a designer and you say, hey, could you do something for me? But you could never afford to actually go to a traditional agency when you were starting your small business and get something. So what we've been able to do is create a more affordable platform, one that's significantly faster than going to a traditional, and one that gives you lots of opportunity because you get to see in real time the designs as they come in from this large community. Our designers can be anywhere in the world as long as they've got an internet connection. We've paid out to 140 countries around the world. We're paying out nearly $1.5 million a month now to that community, so it's a very viable income source for people. So our very best designers are winning 50 to 70% of the contests that they enter, right? So, and they treat this as a great business development tool because the thing that we're doing is typically you source a logo. That's the beginning of your branding exercise, and you need stationery, you need a business card, you might need a website, you need a bunch of stuff, right? Well, you've met a designer now through us, and so we kind of think of ourselves as a dating site, like a great way for you to meet someone. But once you've met them, you don't need to come back and run another contest. You can actually go on and just work with this designer who you now feel gets you.
So how does it work? I want a logo design, I say what I want, and designers compete, and you get, 10 different versions and you just choose one? No,
so yeah, you get as many versions as the designers feel that they need to provide to you for you to find a winner, and it depends on how interested they are, right? So if you've got an exciting project that they're really keen to participate in, then you'll have, potentially, hundreds of designers. We recently did a logo for Occupy.com. I don't know if you saw that, but it was, the Occupy movement's a pretty big deal here. I think we had over 8,000 submissions from 1,500 designers. It was our largest contest ever. And that kind of shows, because it was a very topical opportunity, and everyone thought that they could, you know, provide something of value. But, you know, more typically a small business owner is probably going to get, you know, a couple of dozen options from, you know, 5 to 10 designers, depending on, you know, what the business is and what they're looking to get. And so what's really important as the guy looking for the creative work, so you're the small business owner looking for the logo, is being engaged and providing feedback and thinking about and learning about what it is that I'm looking for. Because typically you start the process and you actually, you know, you think you have an idea of what you like, but you don't really know. And as these ideas start to come in, you've got this opportunity to go, yeah, great, star rate it, this is actually what I'm looking for, or no, that's not what I'm looking for, and now I know what I'm not looking for, so let's all focus on what I am looking for. And so the designers then start to see what it is that you like, and then you start to refine from there. So it's kind of like designing on steroids. It's all happening in a very condensed time period with, you know, a number of different heads contributing, and so it's a pretty amazing experience for most people. It's certainly exciting to see the difference that we're making in people's lives. You know, every time a designer writes into us and says, you know what, you know, I now have a viable business and I'm based here, or you've changed my life, or without you, you know, I couldn't be. You know, we're talking about one of our designers sent us, you know, 99 cupcakes for our birthday last month. Well, one of the reasons why she feels so close to us is she's actually based in the UK. She's studying in the UK, but she's Syrian. And so she can't get any money out of Syria, but she's able to sustain herself in London through our platform, right? So we're a really important part of her life and her ability to continue her education and grow, you know, whilst turmoil. I mean, she's thinking about doing that whilst her parents are, you know, in a city that's, you know, under siege. So when you realise that you're making that sort of difference, you know, or you meet an entrepreneur and they're going, see this? That's from 99designs, you know, and if you're at South by Southwest, you get a lot of that. It's awesome. Like, you walk around with one of these t-shirts on, you get a bunch of people slapping you on the back, wanting to give you high fives or wanting to show you what they've had created, and I think that's amazingly gratifying. You know, I think the fame, fortune, the covers of Newsweek, I'd be happy to handball that to someone else. I think the most important thing for me is just, you know, the daily of what we do is, yeah, unbelievably great.